Hello seniors, and welcome to this week's episode of your Senior Project Advisory videos. Today will be our last video until we have a reminder video in the middle of November. So far in the videos, we have gone over why we complete the senior project, the purpose behind it, what you should be working on, the components of the online portfolio, what must be inserted into the online portfolio, and what can be brought with you in a paper copy to senior defense, as well as some changes from last year where portfolio elements have been eliminated. We have also gone over several school-wide learner outcomes. So today's video is about the final piece of documentation that we have not yet learned. Today we will be going over the self-evaluation and learn how it is linked to our school-wide learner outcomes of becoming a constructive thinker and an informed decision maker. Remember that at the end of this video, there is a short 5-question quiz. This will be our last one until November. So please go to the Senior Project website, click on Class of 2018 Senior Project Videos, and find today's quiz linked in. Remember, we know that all of you are completing the project at different times. Some of you are already done, some have just begun, and some have not started yet. These videos are always available to you right there on the Senior Project website to watch at your leisure. All right, here we go. The self-evaluation is a detailed reflection piece that will ask you several brief questions and have you respond in writing. We're going to take a look at the actual self-evaluation template in a moment. The most important thing is to take your time. We want to see your thoughtful responses that reflect your learning, growth, and how you came to your final product or performance. It is important to be detailed, clear, and honest. When you put a lot of time into your self-evaluation and it looks really solid, it's much easier at defense to explain your growth and learning because you've already thought about all of these questions in writing. If you rush through the self-evaluation, when you get to defense, it feels like you're getting asked these questions for the very first time and students tend to stumble. So as you know, you can find the template on the Senior Project website. Just click on Forms. You will go to File and make a copy to make your own that you can type on. Read the questions and instructions carefully. And remember, we're not expecting you to do anything above and beyond. All we are expecting is that you did what it said in the proposal. We understand you are going to run into some struggles and have to adapt. And remember that we have reduced the workload for the senior project by eliminating several items from the portfolio, including the progress reports. So because we have done that, we are really looking to see a quality product here on the self-evaluation. So right now I'm going to open the self-evaluation and I'm going to guide you through it so you can see what it looks like. Once you have made your own self-evaluation, you will fill in your name, ID, and title of your project. Then you will see it is just set up as a question and answer kind of document, and you will leave the questions there on the document. You will not be deleting these questions. So what you're going to do first is give a very brief 5-sentence description of your project. Just an overall, what have you learned? Is there anything special you'd like the judges to know? Then you go to the table. The table is already made for you, and it gives you detailed instructions. For each step, you have a number, first step. You will give an approximate date or date range. If you're not 100% sure, it's okay to estimate. Just try to be clear, logical, and of course, go in chronological order. So here's where you will list your date or date range. Then tell the judges what you did. Usually the first few steps here are about learning, meeting with the consultant, taking notes, learning vocabulary, perhaps taking a safety test or purchasing items you need for your project. Perhaps it's observations, making lesson plans, painting practice pieces. Over here on the far side, this is where we see your clear reflection. This is the most important column. This is not meant just to be a to-do list, a check-off of what you've done. It's meant to show what you've learned and how you went about this as a constructive thinker, solving complex problems in a real-world sense, not just completing them in the classroom or on a paper or on a project you're doing in a certain class. So really paint a clear picture of your learning and your stretch. You'll notice the table is already made for your convenience. You do need at least 8 to 10 steps. Anytime you need to add a row, you will go to the top menu and click on Table. When you are within a row, you will be able to insert rows below or above, or you can delete a row. Remember that the boxes will expand as you type in them. And remember, once again, 1 to 3 sentences in each box, and this is the most important box. Not just what you did, what steps you completed, but what did you learn? Show the reflection, show the bounce back if there were any struggles, and show how you responded to those struggles. As you continue down, you have a few more questions to answer in your own words. Read the questions and write at least 50 words or more per answer. So again, these are just telling judges, that you have taken the time to self-reflect and think about this experience. What would you do differently? Did you learn more or less than you expected? Was it harder or easier than you expected? Which of the school-wide learner outcomes did you achieve? And explain how or why you achieved them. Remember that we've been going over these throughout the videos, and these will be the basis of your formal senior board speech, which takes place after senior defense. Next, it asks about the transportable skills that you've learned. And finally, you will give yourself a grade on the project. Remember, we want to hear your justification for the grade, which means if you're giving yourself, a B+, why did you select that grade? What prevented you from giving yourself an A, but what made you confident that the B+ was the correct grade? So now that you've seen the self-evaluation, we want to let you know that we will be back in November with a reminder video, a little handout, and another little quiz. We know that you are very stressed right now with college applications, you're juggling your classes, many of you have jobs. We respect that you are busy. We also know everyone is at a different stage in this process. Please remember, when you are stressed, when things feel overwhelming, typically the best way to reduce your stress is to take a first step in attacking things on your to-do list. Waiting till the last minute tends to make it more stressful. So we do respect everything you are going through. That is part of this process, learning to juggle all the things that you will continue to juggle throughout college, career, and your adult life. As we've gone over several times, be sure to put all of your photos and videos online immediately. I see so many of you in the hallways. I ask you, did you put the photos, the videos online? Please do it today. You will be so upset if anything happens to that phone and you have to redo some of your learning steps. It will be a waste of time to have to redo them. If you need to make any changes, please do so now. See me or Mrs. Meredith right away. By the time you see your next video, the junior class will have submitted their proposals. That means Mrs. Meredith and I are dealing with the juniors and the seniors at the same time. Please be sure to see us now if there's any changes that need to be made so you're not waiting in a long line outside our door. If you can, create that folder that we talked about in the previous episode in your Google Drive, and we're not starting the actual online portfolio website for quite some time. Keep all of your documentation in the folder. Building the actual website won't take much time at all. We hope that you'll come to see us if you need any help, and we are so proud some of the advisory classes are doing a great job responding to the quizzes. We want to do a quick shout out to Mrs. Bullock's class, Mrs. Woodland's class, as well as Mrs. Street's class. Several other classes are doing them as well. We'd love to see 100% participation. You can see the list of winners linked right there under the quiz link on the Senior Project website. So you can check that for your name and also check your email. Thank you so much for your attention. We hope you have a great October, and we'll be back with a reminder video in November.